Start with questions whenever you guys are ready for Coach.
Coach, obviously a very good season opener for you guys, playing an always solid North Dakota State team, one of the better mid-majors out there. I know they're not picked real high in the Summit League this year, but a solid program. What have you seen from North Dakota State?
Certainly have a lot of respect for their staff and what they've done since they arrived a few years ago. They've been very consistent in terms of number of games won and where they've finished in their conference race. They've got their feet on the ground and they've established their culture and their system, and they know who they are and what they do. So I've been very impressed with their scheme, with how they go about playing the game, and certainly their results. In terms of how they're predicted this year, it's more to do to the fact they lost some really good players from last year, which for us makes it a little bit harder to prepare for since we're not sure who's going to fill those roles.
I know this is a matchup you didn't choose, obviously, because it was WAC Summit League, but did you like the draw that you got from that tournament, or I guess challenge you could say?
Yeah, when we voted on it, I was the only vote that didn't. I was the only person that voted that didn't vote yes for this challenge. My mentality is, if we're going to play another mid-major school, why don't we, play the ones we want to and where we want to travel to, et cetera. But everyone else disagreed, so we went with it and was thrilled with the draw. Playing a solid program and got some name recognition like North Dakota State at home was great. And then only have to travel to Denver was awesome as well. I was more worried about having to travel in November, December, way up to one of the Dakotas, et cetera. And so having the Denver trip worked out great for us.
What specifically, what kind of style are you expecting to see from North Dakota State, offensively and defensively?
They're pretty deliberate. They shoot the ball extremely well. They were ranked very high in the country in field goal percentage, three-point percentage, free throw percentage. And they have longer possessions. They're not an up-tempo type team. They try to break you down and just wear you out a little bit, if you will, to get the shot they're looking for. They can really shoot the ball, like I mentioned. Defensively, they're going to get in the gaps and try to make you shoot contested jump shots. They're not going to pressure you much, both full court and half court. So we're going to have show some patience. We probably want to run a little bit more than they do, and certainly we're going to try to pick our spots to push the tempo when possible. But in the end, we're going to have to figure out how to stop their deliberate offense, and then at the same time have some patience offensively and try to break them down.
Last week you had said that Eli had got hurt in the scrimmage, and you said you weren't sure at that time if he was going to be out. Is he good to go? Is everybody else good to go except for obviously Johnny for tomorrow?
Yeah, Eli actually got diagnosed with a concussion a day or two, actually a day following the scrimmage we had. So he's been out for a while, but he's going through the protocol, and if things continue to go as they are, he'll be available on tomorrow night. So we anticipate having 14 of our 15 eligible players in uniform and ready to go. Obviously, the one that won't be will be Johnny.
Any other questions for Coach?
You don't want to get into this week, the game following Tuesday at all? Do you want to get into that game? Fans get to see two big games in this opening week of the season.
Yeah, it's a great week for Aggie basketball. To get a home opener against a quality team is awesome. And then to turn around and play a rivalry game at home on a Friday night will be fun as well. So as the schedule worked out, even looking further ahead, to have St. Mary's looming in the distance, to have your season start with 3 home games against, a rivalry team, a national name in St. Mary's, and then another program which has a great reputation, is just a great start to the basketball season. We're certainly fortunate to have them at home, but obviously we're focused on North Dakota State right now.
Where are you really happy with? Obviously, you haven't played a game yet except for 2 scrimmages. Where are you happy with your team's progress at right now?
Like I said earlier, I think their personality, their practice personality has really grown on me. They've bought into the expectations that we've had. And the other thing that I think is evident is they like each other. I think I said that quite a bit last year down the stretch, but it was easy to like each other when you were winning. We haven't done anything yet, and they seem to have a good vibe amongst them. We had them over to the house recently, and I mean, it was the liveliest group that I've ever been around as an assistant or a head coach. They just were very talkative. They were ribbing each other. You know, the players tend to try to compare NBA players a lot and who's better and et cetera, and there's a lot of that going on. But just the lively meter was off the chart. Both my wife and I commented on it, that we've never had a team that was that talkative and stayed longer than normal. So hopefully that'll help us, you know, when we hit some adversity and some bumps in the road. But before we even start, I just really like the camaraderie that this team has, and they're a lively bunch.
Is there anything you feel, without playing a game yet, that could be a work in progress later in the season, or some things you want to see improved early in the year?
I think one concern we have is who we're going to play. You know, it's the day before a game, and I swear to you, I could flip a coin on at least 2 spots. And not that we don't have options. It's just that, you know, who do we go with? And it's going to be a situation that it's going to take some time to unfold. There'll be certain games where we'll go with the hot hand in practice, certainly the hot hand in games. And we just have some depth, and we have 11 or 12 guys that probably deserve to play. But I've never been in a program where we played that many guys, you know, every night. So we've got some tough decisions to make, and I'm not really sure how it unfold, but it's certainly a good problem to have. But in most of our positions, we have pretty good depth.
You anxious about this group? First game, lights come on, anxiety, excitement, any kind of change in how they'll, because this is it, this is the game, this is for real?
I am more nervous than anything else, just because, you know, we didn't have a live opportunity where fans were in the stands. We played 2 closed-door scrimmages rather than an exhibition game, and so this will be the first time for a lot of these young men to ever play Division I college basketball game in front of fans, with the popcorn popping and the band and the cheerleaders, and it's a new experience for them. So I am anxious to see how they respond, and to be honest with you, a little nervous because we had that Halloween hoops deal the other night, and when the fans started trickling in, I didn't like how they responded in practice. They just seemed like they were a little more passive than they normally were, and we did some free throw shooting, and we've been shooting the ball pretty well in practice, and for whatever reason they struggled with the fans in attendance, and we've addressed it, and I'm glad we had that opportunity because, one, it was great for the community, and it was well attended, and it was fun, but at the same time, hopefully that will knock, you know, some rust off them, or get them more realize how it's going to be on game night. But certainly I'm curious, anxious, nervous to see how they respond when the lights are on.